Hey y'all, I'm Kimberland, and this is the Frolicking Truth, a soft space for Black women who are tired, brilliant, and ready to heal. Here, joy meets justice. We calm our Black ass nervous systems, we unmask, and we leave behind whatever that is trying to kill us. You're seen here, you're safe here, and you don't have to do this alone.
Hey, y'all. Come on in here, find a comfortable spot, and take a seat. I am grateful to have you here with me today for episode 19 of the Frolicking Truth podcast for Black women who are tired, brilliant, and ready to heal, where joy meets justice and our nervous systems get free. It is okay if you don't identify with any of those descriptors. It just means that when you come into this space that you are coming ready to listen, ready to learn, and ready to support. My name is Kimberland, and hey. I often forget to introduce myself, and then like I was just saying that a moment ago before before I got started. I was thinking out loud and I was like, you guys don't really know me. So then when it's like, oh, you have to actually introduce yourself, then I feel like incredibly awkward and shy, which is so funny. I am an introvert, by the way. I'm not shy, but usually, like I'm usually not shy, but I don't know. It kind of just landed on me. Like there are over 1,000 people that are like looking at you, like, "Hey, girl, what's up?" So then it was like, hey, y'all. So anyway, my name is Kimberland, and I live in Medellin, Colombia, in South America. I left the US in October of 2021. So we are coming up on the 4 year anniversary. This number four is like so popping. It's so tea. It's so actually, let me just look up the number four. So I am a member of Delta Sigma Theta Sorority Incorporated, and I was number four in Delta. And so four has been a number that has kind of been attached to me. But I also want to hold on, y'all. Let me stop trying to do two things at one time. Give me a second.
A few moments later.
Okay, so the number four, I actually should start wearing my bracelet again now that I think about it. So I have a bracelet that is from Alex and Ani. I don't know if they're still around, and I don't know if they've been outed as some type of cult child by now. Who knows? But one of the reasons that I really used to love Alex and Ani bracelets is because they all have a meaning, and they would come with a card that would tell you like what the meaning was. And so the number four, I had realized was a number that was really special to me. Like I said, when I pledged, I was and am number four. And then I would just see it pop up in different places in my life. So when I went into Alex and Ani and I saw they had a number four bracelet, and then it talked about what it stood for. So the spiritual significance of the number four revolves around stability, hard work, order, and the creation of strong foundations. It symbolizes balance, representing the four elements: earth, air, fire, and water, and the four cardinal directions, and is often seen as a sign of divine support and protection from guardian angels. So for me, the grounded, and it also represents truth and stability and order is something that resonates with me deeply, and is something that I need in my life. So I'm trying to stop saying so much because I keep having to cut them out, and I'm sick and tired of it. Okay, I'm sick and tired of it. And I could also not cut them out because this is me like thinking in real time, but I be getting on my nerves when I be hearing me say that. So I'm trying to monitor that, just so you know. So if there are long pauses, that is why. Nonetheless, having the realization that I'm coming up on 4 years of having been gone from the US, it is making me kind of remember, and I'll talk about this more like once the actual date comes or whatever, but it's just really making me think about all the work that I have done to ground myself and to provide stability for myself since I left the US, and then since I had the burnout, mental health crisis, spiritual awakening. I don't know what to call it. I'm still working on that. I don't really know. I don't really know. The awakening, I don't know. I don't know. But since July 25th of 2023, I've put in a unquantifiable amount of time in really trying to ground myself and rebuild my life and provide myself with stability. So, that is a little fun fact about me today, along with a whole bunch of others that you're probably going to get today. But thank you for walking down that pathway with me in reminiscing. So let us get into our auntie check in. And, I want to reintroduce you to Raina. And also, y'all see, I got my headphones. I finally was able to get a new cord. That was the only issue, y'all, is that the cord that I had before has a shortage in it. And so it wasn't acting right. And now I have the cord. So, and it's purple. It's cute. So I have my headphones back, which is doing a wonder for my ears. But also now it makes things a little bit more what's the word I can use? I don't want to say complicated. I have to be more cognizant of the way that I style Raina, because I still want her to shine and flourish, but then if she has headphones on, then, she ain't popping like she could be popping, and she be feeling some type of way. But I feel like I did a fairly good job today of honoring her presence and such. And she's feeling good, y'all. I washed Raina. When did we do wash? What's today? Today is Wednesday. Did I wash Raina on Saturday? It is very possible. Or maybe it was Monday. I don't know. Anyway, Raina got washed. And I told you, the only things that I'm using right now is this leave-in conditioner, and this Aunt Jackie's curl cream, the Shea Moisture leave-in conditioner and the Aunt Jackie's curl cream. So those are the only things that I have in my hair, and I'm really just trying to figure out what that looks like and sounds like as far as how my hair behaves with those products. So I'm still experimenting with this area up here because the curls are just not really curling like the rest. So it's interesting. Today I did spray a little bit of water on her, and usually what happens is when I'm in the shower I just kind of let the steam just kind of infiltrate, but I also feel like there needs to be some intentional moisturization down to the roots. So I did spray a little bit of water today. But basically I said all that to say I'm still figuring things out. We are having a great time, and I am really proud of how Raina is showing up and showing out and just really growing into her own. We did do a trim this week because again the curls weren't really doing their thing for real, but also I can't like just cut out a patch of my hair, but I felt like it was probably time. I don't know what the length and all of that looks like if you blow this out. Okay, so at some point I may try to do that, but y'all, I got a lot of hair and I do not own a blow dryer. Fun fact, I do not, because I really don't like my hair straight anymore. I don't really think I miss like the body that I used to have, but I don't really miss. It felt like you were always chasing your hair being straight. because it was only straight when you first got the relaxer. Then the new growth start to grow in. So maybe you have 2 weeks, three, maybe some people four. But then also, do you have to put more heat on it to get your roots straight and like all of that? Like I don't I didn't like that. So I don't really want my hair to be straight because I know it's not really meant to be straight, but I am curious about what it looks like as far as length and where there might be gaps and holes missing, child, no telling, because there's a lot of hair in here. So it's easy to miss the things. But anyway, we are on our journey of getting acquainted with each other. And again, just letting Raina do what she does and stop trying to control sis because sis got a mind of her own. Okay. So that is up. Oh, and so I got y'all. I am like so excited about this because I am getting an inventory of essential oils. And so also I'm kind of sad right now because usually with my setup today, I usually have my tea. I don't. I usually have my diffuser going, and I had got some new essential oils. So I had been on this peppermint eucalyptus kick before, and those were the first two essential oils that I was able to get my hands on. Then I had gotten just the other day some frankincense and patchouli, and I love it so much because it's such a grounding scent. So it feels real good inside of my spirit, right? So I had switched over my diffuser to that blend. And then today I went to turn on the diffuser and it's acting stupid. It won't start. And I don't know why that is. And I'm so aggravated because it's been working just fine. This had happened some weeks ago and I was ready to toss it out. And then I gave it another chance and it resurrected itself. And now it's acting silly. Like I am so there are several funerals that I need to have for pieces of my life that have traveled with me thus far. And this is the thing that I keep reminding myself is I've been gone for 4 years. So a lot of the things that are breaking or shifting or needing to get a new one or upgrade or whatever, it is time because I've been gone for 4 years. But also, can you just work? Like I'm just asking you to diffuse the oil. Dang. So but I'm excited because I just got all of these essential oils that are coming in. And so my first project is to work on shampoo and cream. I want to do a hair cream, even though it would probably be easiest to do like some type of body cream. And if it's hair and skin and body or something, like I can rock with that. But I really do want to do hair things first and then move into body. But nonetheless, so I have been concocting my recipe for what I want my hair cream to be like and like what essential oils or herbs or whatever that I want to use in order to enhance it. So I'm in the process of planning all that stuff out and I'm getting really excited because I feel like I'm about to be in the lab. And the scientist in me is here for this. So that's been really exciting. And I'll keep y'all posted about that. Once I start making things, oh, because this is the other thing. I have a vlog camera. So it's not here yet, but it's coming. And so I'm gonna be able to record when I'm doing this stuff. So then I'll be like live in the Patreon or whatever and like hanging out with you all so you can see and then you can be concocting stuff and we can be doing stuff together and figuring out recipes and all that kind of stuff. Because I will repeat, my goal here is not to sell products. My goal here is to teach us how to create our own products. So if you are saying to yourself, "Ooh, I want to buy that," my request would be send me a cash app. You can buy me a coffee on my website. You can join the Patreon for $5 a month and come and learn how to do this for yourself and or pass on the information to somebody else who may want to know, right? So that is kind of what I have been thinking about behind the scenes and really just trying to structure out what I want that to look like and sound like so that I can get to all the other pieces of all the other things that need to get done Insert brand bestie update. So, y'all, I am about to go on over to the TikTok. So, I'm on TikTok, but I'm not on TikTok. So, first off, the TikTok page is minding my black ass business, one S, because it was too long. And when I made it, it was very much when I had just had the mental health crisis. I had just gotten put back on my medicine. I was realizing I was about to have to move, that I was about to have to leave Colombia and go back to Mexico. And it was a place where I didn't have a lot of followers and where I could kind of just make an electronic journal situation. So I did that for a moment. But then I also decided to come back to YouTube. And I think I really put a lot of my energy back into this space. And people always be talking about like how they get addicted to TikTok. And I really just didn't want to be over there scrolling and scrolling and scrolling aimlessly. So I kind of have a love hate relationship with TikTok because and just social media in general, like I'm really just trying to figure out what my relationship is with social media platforms and how I want to show up on them as they become more and more toxic and more infiltrated and more unsafe in many ways. Bianca, my best friend, is doing an entire like campaign right now of talking about back when she and I were advocating for school board races in 2019, 2020, back in Tampa, Florida, Hillsborough County, the level of cyberbullying and a fake Facebook page, a couple of fake Facebook pages were made and information was doxxed. And it was really a really wild time. Like you're talking about unknown number, the high school catfish situation. It was that. And it's still that, even though she believes that she knows who's behind it and like all of that. But I said all that to say social media, while I am very grateful for social media because it has allowed me to remain connected to people that have been in my life and are in my life. It's how, for instance, my high school, they just had a all class reunion and I did not make it to our 10-year high school reunion. I did make it to 20. We took a trip to Negril, Jamaica in 2019, and I talk about that trip pretty often. But I don't make anything that's local, and now I'm not ever going to do that because I'm not going back to the US. So, um, that's how I keep in touch and keep track of what's happening with people that are actually in my life. But I have such a love hate relationship with it because there's just so much toxicity and more and more and more and more and more. And I just be wanting to tap out. So I said all that to say going over to TikTok has kind of been a I can see, but also but this is the thing that kind of pushed me over the edge is two things. So I told y'all like I'm a part of this podcast universe. So we're working on this new podcast, which are also so excited. We have a logo now, like it's coming, it's coming. But and y'all better show up and support. Y'all know that trend where it's like my friend finna tell you about our new podcast, and you better show up and like the videos and comment and share. Go ahead, tell them. That's like what we need to do. But anyway, when we were over in that space the other day planning, one of the ladies was like, I love a good story time. She was like, baby, if you got a story time, honey, I'm locking in because I be wanting to know the things. And I had just been talking with my brand bestie about all of these things, like, because I get on here and I be telling y'all stuff, and sometimes I have multiple stories, and sometimes I just have one or two, but I be having stories. So she and I have been talking about that. So then over in the podcast universe, when she was like, I love a story time. So it really was like, okay, I just need to go over there because that's the best platform for that. And because TikTok is algorithm driven for real, it serves you to the people that are actually looking for your type of content. And and it allows me to break out of the bubbles of people that know me in real life, right? So I'm trying to remember in all of that, like I said earlier, that y'all are meeting me like for sometimes the first time, or you're coming along in this journey from this point, but don't really have the rest of the information that has brought me to this point and why I am this way and why I show up this way and all of that. So I'm trying to give like that information and make it digestible because it really has been a lot. So the concept was kind of like, I need to start here. Like, I need to watch this, like, do this. This is where things start. And I had told y'all about my blog, the last episode, and I was saying, going to my blog, I've written about a lot of things. That is the first place where I found my voice, and the first place that I started talking about the things that I had experienced. Is the first place that I started naming a lot of the things that I had experienced and just really trying to process what was happening. And there is so much more that I haven't shared. Like I just shared like those big kind of nugget concepts, but there are stories to tell. So I am going to be starting a series, I guess, over on TikTok. I'm gonna just start talking, and I'm not just like that, but I'm gonna start at a story, and then I'm gonna let that story kind of develop and allow people to kind of rectify in their minds of what the journey has been like. Someone who has grown up in a family with a narcissistic mother, someone who left for college and could never go back home, someone who was in an abusive relationship for 13 years, someone who has been engaged several times. Several though. That was a lot, Kim. Back it up. Who had a few times? It's been a few. Several feels very much like 7 or 8, and that is not accurate. That's not accurate. But it has been a few, and also has not ever been married. Someone who, has chosen not to have children. Someone who has left the US. Like, there are so many things that I could talk about. So I'm gonna be over there on the TikTok. So I'm gonna let y'all know next episode next week what the handle is, because I'm still trying to decide if I'm gonna make a new page, if I'm gonna do it there. Like, I'm trying to figure it out. But that's where I'm going, and I need y'all to go down over there and support me. Okay. If you be over there, come holla at me over there on the TikToks. Now, this is the thing. We have to do another subscriber update because I keep saying, you all are finding me at this point in life and all of that. So, our subscriber update for this week. Last week, we crossed over the 1,400 mark. We were at 1,403 subscribers. But this week, though, this week, we are at 1,424 subscribers. Shout out to our new subscribers. I'm still waiting on y'all to introduce yourself in the comments, though. At least say, hey, at least drop me a sunflower or two. You feel me? Say something. Let me know that you're here. Let me know where you are checking in from. We are international, so you could be anywhere, all over the world. Let me know why you even stopped and was like, let me subscribe to old girl. Let me see what she talking about. Talk to me, y'all. Tell me the things. And while you're at it, like the video. Like the video. Like the video. Make a comment on the video. Subscribe to the page. All right. And then if you really want to be fancy and supportive, share. Go ahead and share this with somebody else. So, yes, shout out to the new subscribers. Thank you for being here. I do not take it for granted that you even took that additional step to click the subscribe. It really does mean a lot to me, and it really is encouraging because it lets me know that the message is resonating, and I'm finding the people who are looking for me because I know y'all out there. I know y'all out there. So the algorithm is doing what the algorithm needs to do so that we are able to connect and build community and all of the things. Speaking of community, we are in the live chat. If you are here on Saturday, we do this as a live premiere every Saturday at 11 a.m. Colombian Standard Time. Right now, that is Central Time of the US. But y'all finna fall back. Then we gonna be on Eastern Time. But where it's always at is 11 a.m. Colombian time. Okay. So, anyways, we're always here during that time, during the live premiere in the chat. So you can hang out with me, hang out with the community, talk, ask questions. They be in there roasting me. Like, it's a good time. It's a good time. So, please do come and hang out if you are here during the live premiere. You just go and click, there's a button and it'll say join the live chat. If you're on your phone, there's also an option, it'll be like comments, and then you can swipe over and then it's live chat, so you're able to come and hang out and see the people. All right. If you are not able to do that, or you in the replay gang, all right, what I want you to do is leave me a comment. Drop me some sunflowers into the comments. Let me know the things that resonated with you. And if it's 3, 4 things, leave 3, 4 comments, all right? Because it also helps me to know what to elevate and what to clip and what to talk more about. So you're helping me do some market research with that. So as things are resonating with you, please do leave me a comment. That definitely helps. And I am reading them. So I, will go back and make a response, and I'm talking to you there. So yes, please do that. Other thing is this week, immediately, this is going to air on Saturday, September 13th. So today, immediately after this, at 12:30 Central, 1:30 Eastern, we are going to have the Healing Circle. So remember I told you all that we are partnering with Vanessa at The Well Educator, and we are having yoga within our Healing Circle. And the Healing Circle is a place that has been created for Black women. It is a Black women only space where we are able to come and feel seen and feel heard and have a moment to ground ourselves and walk away with some practices and affirmations that can help us to really sustain and uplift and rebuild and heal our spirits. So, this past week, Vanessa and I went through the one of the flows that she's thinking about doing, and it really felt so accessible for me. Like, it felt really easy, and it was something that I need to do more of. So it made me think like, oh, maybe I want to do yoga practice in my morning routine, So it's really a gentle invitation for you to be able to come and feel and kind of just connect back to your body and to your breath. So, again, our healing circle with the Well Educator is going to be immediately after this. And from this forward, every second Saturday of the month, we are going to have the healing circle. And you can register to join at tinyurl.com/Black Women Healing Circle. tinyurl.com/Black Women Healing Circle is how you will register, and then you will receive the link once your registration is approved. All right, so wanted to make sure I uplift that. And I'm so excited. It's going to be a really good time. And I think it is an opportunity for us to give ourselves a moment of self care and stillness that we may not necessarily have when we are out here fighting in this world. All right. So if you are feeling called, please do come check it out. You don't have to come every time, but you can register for multiple times if you would like. And it is free. I don't know if I said that. So it is free. So feel free to share with someone else and to give that gift to yourself. All right. Okay, a reminder of our soul work. Again, I told you that we're going to keep this consistent for a little while. And that soul work is, what are the characteristics that you need to feel safe in sisterhood and or community, partnership, friendship? What are the characteristics that you need to feel safe in relationship with other people? That is the soul work that we are thinking through today and have been thinking through. So I would like for you to leave in the comments what some of those things are. We have in the past had submissions like openness, vulnerability, transparency, accountability, integrity, honesty, the ability to laugh. These are some of the things that have come up for us. So we are basically building a list of what we want this to look like and sound like, because on this journey to building a life that we don't have to escape from, we want to know what types of people and what types of energy that we are willing to accept in our life. And that is like so incredibly important for us to know and to think through and to think about. So, what if the thing you've always called too much was the exact thing God designed on purpose? This is for the ones who've always known they were different. Too sensitive, too loud, too knowing, too intuitive, too woo-woo. But what if your sensitivity is actually your superpower? What if your intuition was your inheritance? Discover Your Destiny is a 10-week sacred journey back to yourself. We explore the design of your soul, your spiritual gifts, and the unique way that God speaks to you. This isn't church. It's not a rule book. It's not a performance. It's the moment you stop chasing approval and start walking in divine alignment. You'll gain clarity, language, and confidence around who you are and what you are here on the earth to do. You'll learn the real voice of God. And if you feel called to go on to become a certified intuitive melanated life coach, this is where that path begins. There are 2 ways to enter this sacred container: the Destiny track, full investments and coaching experience, or the Divine Exchange track, where internship meets soul work. You'll support podcasting, content creation, or brand development behind the scenes while learning how your unique gifts benefit the collective. Your knowing isn't a flaw, it's the fingerprint of God. This is your invitation, and I hope that you'll answer. Okay, so I want to do a quick frolicking in the feed. Somebody sent me this video on Instagram, and I was like, I think I want to talk about this week because it is something that has been said to me many times. And what it said, what the caption was, is stay in a child's place. And when I saw that, when the person sent it to me, I immediately rolled my eyes because it's something that was said to me all the time when I was a child, and it was something in our family, like a child stays in a child's place and all of that. But then also, we were so incredibly adultified. So if you wanted me to stay in a child's place, then let me be a damn child. Hello? Like, if you want me to stay in a child's place, why am I responsible for a whole nother human being, a whole nother baby human being? If you want me to stay in a child's place, why am I coming home with keys in at 5 and 6 years old? Like, what? This doesn't compute. I was talking to Kalanda one day on So You Don't Put Syrup on Your Grilled Cheese. That's my cousin. And So You Don't Put Syrup on Your Grilled Cheese is our podcast. In case. And yes, we do put syrup on our grilled cheese. Yes, we do. But I was talking to Kalanda and I was saying that I'm like, when do you start to feel like an adult? Because I don't feel like an adult. I feel like, who left me in charge? And why are people expecting me to be the adult and the responsible one in the room? Like, this is wild. And she said to me, she was like, well, you've been an adult since you were like 5. So you probably tired of being an adult. And no, you don't see the transition to adulthood because you've been an adult. You've had adult responsibilities since you were like 5. And I've thought about that so many times since then because there are many of us who, especially in our, so I'm elder millennial is where I fall. So I was born in 81, and I feel like 81 is like the cutoff for millennials. But in many ways, I identify with Gen X because it was right there. Like I just missed it. But having said that, I feel like our generation that we were very much, somebody said it in our comments on So You Don't Put Stuff on Your Grilled Cheese the other day. They were like, y'all was neglected as children. Yeah, we were. Like we did not have a chance to just be children and to just be free to be a child. So it's so oxymoronic to me when things would be said like, say, in a child's place, because what exactly is my place? Because I have so many responsibilities and things. What is the place that I'm supposed to be in? And it causes a lot of confusion. And I hope this is something that with more conscious parenting that people are starting to pull away from, like all of these sayings and things that we've had around, or these practices that we've had around, that honestly mostly they're linked to slavery is what it is, because it was a coping strategy and coping mechanism to be able to keep children safe, so you don't listen to what adults are talking about and all of that. But this is the other thing too with that is children are very perceptive. So you're trying to have them stay in a child's place, but also they realize that life is happening around them. So we can't just pretend like things aren't happening, because they are living this life. They are experiencing, they are watching that things are happening. So then when we're not honest about what is happening or making space to just acknowledge what is happening, then as a child, again, what place am I in? I'm in a place where I am making sense of things with a very limited scope of the world, because you aren't giving me the information that I need to be able to stay in this place. So it was really interesting. So when I saw the caption, I very much got triggered, and I was just like, why would somebody send this to me? But then I actually listened to the video. So I want to talk about the rest of what I want to talk about on the other side of the video.
Every teenage girl who can't wait to be a woman, I'd be remiss if I didn't pause you for a second to hand you a mirror and caution laced in my own reflection. See, being a woman ain't just hips filling up dresses or eyelashes that stretch beyond innocent gaze. It ain't the visuals that you scroll past on your feed or the fantasy of the freedom that you think that you gonna meet when you turn 18. See, let me tell you, womanhood is a bill that shows up every single month. They don't ask you if you ready to pay it. It's carrying groceries in one hand while carrying a whole world in your chest. It's walking past corners while whistles follow your body, but you still gotta hold your head up like your crown ain't slipping. It's learning the difference between a compliment and a predator, testing if you know how to run fast, my baby. Baby, I need you to slow down. Don't let the world rush you into shoes that ain't molded for your feet yet. See, high heels come with high stakes, and every curve in your body will be studied like it owes them something. You need to know that people who will call you queen will also try to strip you of your kingdom. And there are people who will smile in your face but still fold you like laundry behind closed doors. And I need you to listen. Your body is not a rental car for every traveler to take a ride in. Its temple, its beauty, it is sacred testimony. And don't let no hands with no history on your life write chapters in your story. Every person don't deserve to be there. Some will knock just to see if that door opens. I need you to close it, my baby. I need you to lock it. I need you to know that the value of your body ain't in what touches it. It's in what honors it, who waits for it, who protects it, like they honor tomorrow. It's bleeding every month without dying. And still waking up to go to school, to go to work, to go to church, and whatever place demands your face. So don't rush this moment, my baby. Your youth is a garden. Tend to it. Play hopscotch with your dreams a little longer. Let your laughter stretch beyond comprehension. Womanhood will always come. Baby, it always does. And when it does, I want you to be ready. Not just with some makeup in your bag, but with wisdom in your back pocket. Because being a woman requires a maturity that you ain't even ready for. It's knowing strategy and your spirit. It's knowing your worth before anyone can even discount it. And nobody else, if nobody else told you, I want to be the first to tell you plain and simple, you are enough as a girl. But while you here, my baby, I need you to stay in a child's place, because once you trade places, that position will never be the same again. Okay? Okay.
One of the things that she said during that video was have wisdom in your back pocket. And it's something that I think about in everything that I do, because there is so much wisdom that we carry, those, all of us, you know, depending, there were like 17 converging thoughts that just happened just now. So let me take my time to unravel them. Someone told me one time that you are always further along on the journey than someone else, because sometimes we feel like we have to reach a certain level to be able to say, to give wisdom, advice, what have you. But even if you're a 20 something year old, let's just say, you have the wisdom that you've gained from your teens and from your adolescence and your childhood. So you have the ability to be able to speak from experience, and that's at any point along the journey. Once you graduate college, you now have the wisdom of to advise those who are thinking about whether they want to go to college. Once you get into the workforce, you have the wisdom of telling people what it's actually like within the workforce. Once you actually cross over that bridge out of childhood into adulthood. So we all have wisdom to be able to give. And unfortunately, what has happened, because of a few different reasons, is that wisdom has not always been passed down. Somebody somewhere in a podcast was saying, this is the first generation where we are really getting information about what perimenopause is like and the impact that it has on our bodies as women. And in the past, if your family talked about things that had to do with the body, the information that was given was very variable, and it usually was boiled down to hot flashes and mood swings, is basically kind of all it was boiled down to. And this generation of women, myself and contemporaries, those of us that are in our 40s and crossing into this place of perimenopause, we are being very vocal about the things that are happening, because the ladies who are in their 30s, they need to know that this is what is going to happen and this is what happens on the other side of it. When I was with Beautiful Brown Girls, I had reached out to find someone who was an expert on menopause, and I came across Cherie McCants. The menopause coach is who she is. And I had her on the show because I wanted her to answer those questions. Like, there, what is it even? And for example, perimenopause, menopause is one day. So menopause is the day that your menses, your cycle pauses, meaning you have gone 1 year, I believe it's 1 year and a day without having a cycle. And so once that happens, you are officially declared in menopause. That's just that one time. But the up to that, when the cycle is figuring out that it's time to sunset this situation, there are things that are happening, and that is called perimenopause. So that's when people talk about hot flashes, night sweats, growing excessive hair, ear ringing, losing weight, gaining weight, like the things what I want to say, huge hormone fluctuations, like that's what's happening in perimenopause. The other thing is that many of us are not aware of the phases of our menstrual cycle. So we are also fighting against ourselves during times that we, for instance, when we are actually menstruating, we should be resting and restoring ourselves. But the way that the world is set up and the way that society is set up, you can't do that. You still got to go to work. Kev on stage is really, I appreciate how he is modeling, supporting Melissa through this season, and how educated he is making himself about the woman's body that he loves and what she is experiencing as a person. So he was saying something one day, and he was like, y'all just be bleeding. Like, y'all be bleeding and working and taking care of kids and cooking and being business women and running errands and like taking care of us and like and bleeding. And it's like, yeah, yeah, without ceasing until we get to this place of menopause. So that's an example of the wisdom that I believe that we are charged with leaving for the folks that are coming behind us. You know, I've asked y'all before, like, what you feel like the role of an auntie is, and I submit that question again, like, what do you feel like the role of an auntie or even an uncle is? And for me, it's to hip you to the game so that you know what's coming, that you have somebody to talk to who is going to tell you the truth and also have the wisdom to be able to back that up, but be able to be like, hey, girl, let me tell you about this one time, child, when I did that, because, girl, that might not work out well. But also, how can I best support you in this? Like, talk to me, like, let me know the things, look out for this. It's about to be this season, it's about to be that season. Like, that is our responsibility, I feel. And there was a comment on that video, and the person was like, I wish I would have seen this video as a teenager. I do too. And I wish that I would have had the space to be able to be a teenager, because many of us in our generation were escaping our childhood. And I definitely will speak for myself. I knew I had to get the hell up out of there. So we didn't have these safe environments where we were able to get all this life's wisdom and then go out into the world and be, successful and prepared, and like all of, we didn't, I'll use I did not have that. So everything that I learned, I had to learn on my own. And I learned a lot of what not to do. I learned a lot of who I didn't want to be. And then I had to figure out how to be this person. So there's wisdom that has come with those journeys. And I think it is the best gift that we can give young people is to one, allow our children to be children, allow them to be who they are without trying to control who they are, and gently guide them into adulthood. You know, even in a lot of our experiences, again, Gen X, the elder millennial, you get out this house when you turn 18. You don't have a choice. And that is wild, especially when you couple that with there was not active preparation for us to be out there at 18 figuring shit out. And I had the benefit of going to college where I had a little bit of a cushion to kind of figure things out and make mistakes and a little bit of safety and, you know, all of that. But we just had to figure it out. So our responsibility then is to help the next folks not just have to figure it out, because we made well, not all the mistakes, thank God I didn't have to make them all, because I also was somebody who learned from other people's mistakes. I was talking to my intern the other day, and they were like, no, tell me the things. I don't need to make a whole bunch of mistakes that I don't have to, but tell me, you know, because they're about to go into the workforce, just starting their first real job, and like, oh my God, you finna be in the work, like you an adult, like you adulting for real, right? And they were like, yeah, and I'm really wrapping my mind around like now I have to do this for the rest of my life. And I didn't even have the luxury of realizing that because I was already doing it since I was like 5 and 6 years old. So my point is, we need to pass the wisdom. We need to pass the wisdom back, and so that younger people have that wisdom in their back pocket to know how to navigate the world. And what's so interesting about this time right now in 2025 is that the world that we are preparing to navigate, none of us have been a part of. The entire dynamics of the world are shifting right now. And there are so many new alliances that are forming. There are drastic human rights violations that are happening. This is a wild time. So we don't even have the lived experience to be able to say to the young people who are now on the front lines and coming into the working force, this is what you need to do, because the world that we lived in does not exist anymore. So, wisdom at this point looks like helping them to step into their power and understand who they are and understand their gifts, and know how to advocate and understand that, okay, now when you do this, that's going to happen, right? For example, we had a asking auntie on So You Don't Put Syrup on Your Grilled Cheese the other day, and it was talking about the letter was called Three Strikes You're Out, or Three Strikes Before I Even Open My Mouth, or something like that.
I'm
But
a
it
young Black man trying to make my way in a workplace where I feel like I'm constantly being dismissed or underestimated. It's frustrating because if the roles were reversed, people would be in an uproar. But when it's me, I feel like nobody notices or cares. I work in a female dominated industry and I can't figure out what's really going on. Is it because I'm young? Because I'm a guy in a space that doesn't usually see men? Or is it simply because I'm Black? Honestly, it feels like I'm carrying three strikes before I even open my mouth. I want to do well in this career, but it's hard when I feel like I have to prove myself twice over just to be taken half as seriously. Please help. How do I navigate this without losing myself or burning out?
And it's important for us to make it clear to people who are just entering the workforce that human resources is not meant to protect you at all. HR does not care about you. HR is there to protect the company. That is it, and that is all. The role of HR is to keep the company from getting sued. Period. They do not care about you. No matter how empathetic they try to act like they are not on your side and they are not there for you. And it's important to say that to people. That's a piece of wisdom going into working environments and going into corporate America that they need to know, because what happens is you're told just go to HR, and then you go and then harm is caused, and now you have to repair and heal from that trauma. So let me let you know coming in that this is what can happen so that you can prepare yourself. My intern and I also talked about who are you going to be when you go into this workspace. This is a chance for you to, they kept saying, it's this is a new start. Like I'm this is new. These are new people. This is a new environment. Like this is new. Who am I in this space? And yes, that is a question that we want to ask ourselves. Am I coming in here and trying to do everything and, be fast and be efficient? Am I giving every piece of myself to this? Or am I coming in here with a mission and understanding I'm here to learn information and pick up on information that I'm going to use down the line so that I can prepare myself for whatever my next step is? Am I coming in here to try to be friends with everybody? Am I coming in here to be the social butterfly? I'm at every happy hour. I'm doing, all the things. Am I coming in here using my discernment so that I understand who's a safe person to talk to and who's not, especially in today's climate? We talked about all of that. And we're going to continue talking about that because the wisdom that I have, I am responsible for passing that down. And that doesn't mean that you trauma dump, right? Because that's not helpful and that's not the point. It's about asking yourself these questions so when you do encounter this situation that you already have a prepared response. We talked about what was the conversation. This was a different conversation with somebody else, but it was like, if people ask you things about yourself, or like how do you back out of a situation, or how do you handle when someone says something inappropriate and you don't find it funny? For instance, that was one of the big conversations that we had. What do you do when somebody says something and it's just completely inappropriate? And we one of the things I offered was I get very curious and very stupid. It appears. Asking ourselves these types of questions are really important because this is a foundational time, especially for young people. But even those of us who are in our 40s, for example, and we are probably in leadership positions and all of that, asking yourself how much of yourself you want to give to this place, asking yourself what you will and will not tolerate, asking yourself where your lines are and when you're going to speak up. Oh, I was talking about what I told her to say when I said I get curious and stupid at the same time. Let me go back to that. So, um I will use like confusion as, or so let's say somebody makes some kind of off joke and I'll be like, and they're like, you don't, and I'm like, I don't get it. Or I might be like, if they're like, well, why aren't you laughing? Because it wasn't funny. Like it wasn't funny. And so then the conversation was, so what happens when they're like, oh, you think you all that, you da da da. Well, you have to know that that's going to be a consequence of you not going along with bullying and going along with talking about people. Like, you have to know that that's going to be a consequence. So knowing that's going to be a consequence, how are you going to show up in that situation? Are you just going to laugh it off? Are you going to actually say something? But then is it worth it to say something and now you're giving people a lecture that really don't even care? So, how are you going to show up in this situation where your ethics and your morals are called to the carpet? These are the questions and the conversations and the wisdom that we want to be able to equip our young people with, so that they are able to be more successful and in tuned than we were. You don't you Let me give you the game book, baby girl. I got the plays. Why would I not pass on that information? Especially when we're talking about a system that has been rigged against us every which way but loose. Girl, let me give you the path to be successful. I don't understand when we don't do that and when we hoard information and we choose not to share our wisdom. So, having said that, what I want you to do, please, is to drop a piece of wisdom into the comments that you would give to our 20 somethings who are preparing to go into the workforce. What is a piece of wisdom that you would give? And if you are 20 something, ask a question so that you can get a response from a place of wisdom. Okay. So if you are already out here in the workforce, 30 and up, leave a piece of wisdom. Under 30, ask a question for a piece of wisdom. But also if you have wisdom to give, you can do that too. Okay. But 30 and up, leave a piece of wisdom for the people who are coming and the people who are here and the people who are listening. Okay? So that is our assignment. Okay? Whenever you see this, whether you see this right now while we're doing this in 2025 or you see this years from now, please do that, because again, the world is evolving and we need your wisdom. We need your wisdom so that people are able to put that wisdom in their back pocket and be more successful as we're navigating this world. So I don't remember if I said this before, so I do want to say it with intention. I invite you to join the Inner Circle. The Inner Circle is my Patreon. That is where you are able to connect with me, to be able to participate in the lives and co-creation of the show, where you are able to get first notification about the things that are happening in this world, such as y'all will soon get insight into the new podcast that we are creating, as well as behind the scenes information and right now information in regards to vlogs, classes that you're able to take, discounts, all of that for $5 a month. Okay, so I am revamping everything in there and really just centering in on my pillars and what I want that to look like and sound like. So now is the time to come into the Patreon for $5 a month, into the Inner Circle. If you go to patreon.com/minding my black ass business, you will be able to join there. There's also a 7-day free trial when you commit to joining. So please do come and hang out with me in the Inner Circle. Our quote today is from Bell Hooks. True wisdom is found when we listen deeply to ourselves, to our ancestors, and to the generations that come after us. Wisdom goes in all directions, and here at the Frolicking Truth, I want to intentionally make space for that wisdom so that we are able to equip our children for the world that they are walking into, and also give them the space to be children and to have a balanced understanding of the world, because they have access to such deep wisdom. So again, if you are over 30, if you will leave a piece of wisdom in the comments for someone who is under 30. And if you are under 30, if you will ask a question and or leave a piece of wisdom for someone who is younger immediately after this, we are going to have the healing circle. So tinyurl.com/Black Women Healing Circle is how you register, and then you will get the link. We will be doing yoga over there, so please do come and hang out with us. And if you missed it, still go to the link so that you can register for next month. Okay, that's it, y'all. I'll holler at y'all next time. Bye.
Thank you for listening to The Frolicking Truth, where joy meets justice and our nervous systems get free. Please be sure to like, rate, and comment. Subscribe to the YouTube page, Minding My Black Ass Business, and follow me on all social platforms. Until next time, bye.